All right, we've got Salman here. Um, Salman, I wanted to get your thoughts on two different. We're going to do two different videos. I wanted to get your thoughts on what you've made of recent, because I haven't had you on. What have you made recently of the press conference between Pacquiao and Spence? Pacquiao, seeming to want to become an undisputed champion. He wants to be undisputed. I believe. From what I saw, I think a Crawford fight could happen after the Spence fight if he was to be victorious. But firstly, I want to ask you about your thoughts on the press conference itself, the size difference, the massive size difference between Pacquiao and Spence. What did you make of the whole press conference, the size difference, and have your opinion changed on how you see this fight going?
Um, I think it's definitely. I think it's a 50-50 fight. We don't really know what Pacquiao's got left. Spence is obviously young, but if Pacquiao does have anything left, it's going to come down to the both skill sets. The both fighters on the day.
Come on, you say it's a 50-50, but a lot of people would disagree with you. They say, no, Spencer's a massive favorite. He's a 70-30 favorite, most people say. They say he's a massive, massive favorite. So how can you say it's 50-50?
I just believe the reason why I think it's 50-50 is because I think Pacquiao is someone that's always in the gym, right? And I think he's kept himself fit during this lockdown, during this pandemic. So I think he's definitely not going to be uh, he ain't coming to lay down, that's for sure. I think a lot of people think this is a lot easier of a fight for Spence than it's actually going to be. I think Spence has his hands full in this fight, to be honest. I think he's going to struggle, in my opinion, because from what I've seen thus far of Spence, right, someone like Pacquiao could literally just move in and out and literally just box like that all night. Um, Spence can put on the pressure, but Pacquiao, he's got incredible boxing skills. I don't think people appreciate. They just think, oh, he's got a load of fast hands. He's got punching power. Manny Pacquiao is a very good boxer as well. And Spence will find that out on the night. It's not that easy. You know, to outbox someone like a Manny Pacquiao. He's very, very good, very good, and he's definitely the toughest guy Spence is going to fight out of anyone that he's fought so far. So I don't think it's an easy fight at all. When have you ever seen Pacquiao get destroyed? I've never seen him get destroyed ever in any fight. Yeah, he might be knocked out in a fight, but I've never seen him, get battered in a fight, and I don't think we ever will. If I'm being honest, I think the skill level he has, and his determination and his hard work, and you know, I just can't see him getting beat up by Spence. I don't think Spence has that sort of ability, to be honest, to destroy someone like a Pacquiao. He's not good enough.
Salman, Manny Pacquiao has said that Errol Spence seems to have the same kind of body language or the same kind of thought process. Although he's not as vocal about it, he has the same kind of thought process that Keith Thurman did, that I'm too old, I'm past it. And he thinks that Errol Spence is overlooking him. Do you agree with that?
Could be potentially. I don't know if Spence is overlooking him or not. But you can only overlook someone like Manny Pacquiao at your own peril, really. Um, he's the best fighter Spence is going to fight for sure, 100%. Um, he's not going to have fought anyone with the hand speed, with the power, with the boxing IQ, with the feet work. I just think Spence's style is suited to Manny Pacquiao, if I'm going to be honest. I think that sort of style, Manny Pacquiao could use that style in his favor. Spence's feet are very slow. And, fighters like Pacquiao, people that have speed and power like that, thrive off people that have slow feet. And that not let's see how great Spence is. He's obviously the heavy favorite with the bookies, with a lot of people. Let's see if he can make this fight look easy. Let's see if he can beat Pacquiao up how everyone is claiming. I don't think he is. I don't think he's just going to go in there, back Pacquiao up, and let the body shots go, and Pacquiao's just going to crumble. I don't believe it. If he does, then Errol Spence proves why he's a great. Because if he can go in and dismantle someone like a Pacquiao, it'll go to show, how good he is.
Salman, if Errol Spence does win, what would you like to see next?
Then I would like to see him become undisputed. There's no, you can't.
One minute, before I get into that, what did you make of the WBA not reinstating Manny Pacquiao?
I think that's ridiculous, to be honest. I seen him; he had a belt at the press conference. Don't know what belt that was, whether it was an interim.
No, they haven't reinstated him.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that, to be honest. You got to realize you can't expect him to fight in a pandemic. Certainly someone of that, status. It's ridiculous. He didn't lose it in the ring. He legitimately, let's not get mistaken. He legitimately beat Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman was what, in people's eyes, a unified champion. Yeah, he lost one of his belts, but he beat that guy quite convincingly. He beat Thurman quite convincingly. It was a unanimous decision. So you got to realize you can't do that to fighters. You got to be fair. He legitimately won it, and he should have his belt right now. He should have his belt back.
So Ugas is the WBA super champion, and going back to the situation, if Errol Spence was to win, who's the favorite, what would you like to see Errol Spence do next?
If he beats Pacquiao, then he'll probably fight the next guy in his stable that's got the belt, which is Ugas. Then he's definitely, as he said Terence Crawford's like the last thing on his list, because obviously he's on the other side of the street. I just think they should fight, personally. I don't see the reason why they're not fighting. I think Spence is kind of trying to block out Keith Thurman and Terence Crawford. I just don't think he wants to give those guys a fight. I think what he's doing now, he's taken out on what Keith Thurman did to him. But to be honest, Spence was not nobody. Why would Keith Thurman fight Spence at that point? Spence was a mandatory for the IBF. Keith Thurman at that point wasn't going to, before Errol Spence became world champion, he wasn't really going to entertain that, because what did Errol Spence bring for him? But now you got to realize Spence needs to fight Thurman. That's a fight we want to see. It's he can't block these fights out. I want to see Spence versus Crawford. I want to see Spence versus Thurman. But the way Spence's demeanor is, it's just like he kind of didn't want to fight me when I was coming up, so I'm not going to give him the fight. But that's not, you can't be great like that. You can't be great. You've got to fight the top guys. You have to have a bulky resume. You need to fight the best guys, and Keith Thurman for sure is one of the best guys.
Salman, if Errol Spence was to fight Terence Crawford, who wins that fight?
I think that fight would be a good fight. I can't really pick a winner, to be honest, because I just don't know how it would match up. But if I was just to go on what I've seen so far, I think Spence could get to him. I think Spence could put his size on. And the thing is, Jeff Horn had size, but he didn't know how to use his size, to his advantage against Crawford. Whereas someone like a Spence will know how to use his size and his power against someone like a Crawford. So I think it's definitely Crawford's hardest test, for sure. And I think Spence will try and make it a really, really dogfight against Crawford. I don't think he'll try to give Crawford. I don't think he'll want Crawford to, staying too much on the outside. I think he'll, try to make it rough and tough for him, because I think Crawford could crumble again. Because I don't think Crawford is tough as someone like Spence. I think Crawford could crumble under the pressure, if Spence really puts the heat up.
If just say Pacquiao was to get the win, what do you see Pacquiao doing next?
He'll rematch Spence. Sure, that would definitely be in the contract, because I'm gonna be honest, Spence is like PBC's guy right now, so he's definitely gonna get a rematch for sure. Although I thought even Keith Thurman should have got a rematch, but I don't think he has that sort of relationship with, Al Heyman, and that side is more. I just don't think. I think there'll be a rematch. I think he'll have to give Spence a rematch, which I don't.
I think Pacquiao will call the shots. I don't think there will be a rematch. I think Pacquiao will call the shots. Pacquiao's the A side. If he doesn't want a rematch, he ain't gonna want a rematch. That ain't gonna happen. What do you make of Terence Crawford? What do you think he needs to do?
What can he do though? There's no one to fight. Like, can he fight Ugas? But Ugas doesn't want that. Look, right. Unless Crawford fights Pacquiao or Spence, no one's really going to be interested. You know, Ugas is not really a big fight. Where can he go? What can he do? Is he going to fight Josh Taylor? We don't know. We don't know. But he's in a no-win situation at the minute. He needs to get out of his contract with Bob Arum and leave and go to PBC. Because if he wants the big fights, he's going to have to take the steps because they're just going to block him out. And that's stopping him from being great. He can't be great. Look, if he was to beat Spence, that's the best win on his resume, right? If he beats Pacquiao, he just added a legend to it. That's the best guy on his resume. The guys he's fought thus far and beaten, right? No one knows who they are. You know, they're not world beaters. The guys he's beaten so far in his career. I'm not undermining his career, but they're not known. If he was to beat Spence or beat a Pacquiao or beat a Thurman, he'll get a lot more credit from the public because the guys he's beaten so far are not that good. They're non-entities. You know, you would back Spence or Pacquiao to beat all of them guys. So he has to have a marquee name at 147. He can't beat the likes of Amir, like Khan, Brook, and Horn and get away with it. They're not the top guys at the minute. They're not the top guys in this day and age at 147. They're just not. So he has to get a marquee win, whether that's a Sean Porter, whether that's a Thurman, whether that's Pacquiao, whether that's Spence. He needs to fight these guys. Otherwise, he gets blocked out 147. He can't be great. We can't call him great because to be great, you got to be great fighters. You just have to be great fighters. And I'm sorry, but Crawford's resume is very weak. Very weak. Even his best wins, I don't even know who they are. So that goes to show how at what level those opponents were. What's his best win? Gamboa, probably.
Yeah.
Gamboa. And would you say Gamboa is better than Keith Thurman? Would you say Gamboa is better than Manny Pacquiao? Would you say Gamboa is better than Spence? No chance. No, it's being stupid. So
Would you say Gamboa? Would you say Gamboa, when Crawford fought him in his division, was better than Keith Thurman? Gamboa was rated as one of the best in the world. Like he was rated very highly. I think he was even on
rated highly, but we got to take into consideration Keith Thurman was a unified champion at 147, and you know that's a big thing. You know, it's not he was holding two belts, so he's a top dog. But yeah, his best win is Gamboa, and Gamboa is definitely not better than Manny Pacquiao, and I don't think he's better than Spence either. So I don't know. It's just a tricky one, isn't it?
Okay, if I was to ask you, push you for a prediction between Manny Pacquiao and Spence, who are you picking and why?
I think Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is going to pull it off. I just think that a lot of people think this is a cakewalk and walk in the park for Spence, but he's going to find out otherwise. Don't get me wrong, I don't count Spence out because I think Spence could land one shot. You know, he could land that perfect left because he has power. But like, if you be really honest about it, do you think he's going to outbox Pacquiao for 12 rounds? I can't see it. He ain't outboxing with his skill set. With Errol Spence is a quality fighter, but with his skill set, right, he's not going to outbox Pacquiao for 12 rounds. He's not. He's a quality fighter, but he's not good enough to do that against Pacquiao. Sorry. No. He's going to have to literally make a dogfight if he's going to win this fight. He's not going to outclass Manny Pacquiao. He's going to have to fight on the inside. He's going to have to make it a rough, dirty fight. Like, they keep saying that, he's not going to do a Mayweather. That's not his style.
But what's Manny going to stop? How's Manny going to stop that being a rough fight on the inside? How's he going to stop from Errol? How's he going to stop Errol Spence roughing him up?
You'll be surprised, actually. You'll be surprised with Manny Pacquiao's chin. I think Manny Pacquiao's chin's underrated. in my opinion. I think he'll be able to suck those shots up. Listen, I'm gonna be honest to you. Spence does not punch any harder than Keith Thurman. I'm telling you. You can ask Sean Porter, you can ask anyone, right? Danny Garcia said it himself. Keith Thurman punches harder than Errol Spence. So you got to realize.
But could Spence wear Pacquiao down?
To the body, yes, he could. But I think Pacquiao's too. I think he's too trained. He's not. He's got a tough fight. I don't think Spence has that one hit. Like, I've not seen him against at that level knock anyone out. He couldn't even knock out Mikey Garcia. Let's be straightforward here. He didn't knock out Mikey Garcia, smaller guy. And then his what he said that I was trying to box that fight. That's a load of nonsense. He's not as big puncher as what people make out to be. You know, he's just not. He's not that big of a puncher. He's a quality fighter, but he's not going to knock everyone out. I'm sorry, he's not. He doesn't possess that sort of power.
So how do you think Manny wins the fight then? You say Manny Pacquiao is going to win. How's he going to win the fight? How's he going to do it?
I think he's going to confuse him. I think he's going to be hitting Spence from all angles. Do you know, let me tell you something about Manny Pacquiao, and even Floyd Mayweather said it, even though Floyd won quite comfortably, right? He said Manny Pacquiao's angles are something else. The way he uses his feet work. And I think that's what's going to do it. Watch. His angles, his feet work, the sort of positions he gets into. It's just he's a different class. He's a veteran in the sport. He knows his way around that ring better than anyone right now. You know, that's fighting currently. That guy is something else, I'm telling you. And Spence is in for a hard night, because this isn't Kell Brook. This isn't, you know, Sean Porter. You know, we seen what when Keith Thurman and Sean Porter fought, what happened, and then what Pacquiao did to Keith Thurman, right? So Manny Pacquiao is a different animal, different beast to these guys. He's just a lot better than these guys, you know. And Spence is going to find that out. He's going to find that out for sure, because Manny Pacquiao is a type of guy, right? He's a world-class fighter. Look what when Manny Pacquiao was in his prime, how he was dismantling the top fighters. And look what Spence is doing. Is Spence dismantling? Do you see, is Spence dismantling fighters? Like how Pacquiao was when Pacquiao was in his prime. So you got to realize you dismantle fighters by your skill level, you know? And from what I've seen of Spence so far.
Do you think Manny Pacquiao in his prime would destroy Spence and Crawford?
I think it'd be good fights, but I think he'd win quite convincingly, yes. I don't know whether he'd knock them out, but because they're both quite tough, but I think he'd beat them quite comfortably, if I'm going to be honest. If you're asking what prime for prime, I think he'd beat both of them, 100%. Think about it. If he just beat Thurman now, at 43 years old, imagine what he would have done 10 years ago. Like, let's be really honest, because you got to realize he's at that age where, you know, you start losing speed, you start losing that movement, that feet work, you know. So Pacquiao's always going to be what Pacquiao is, you know, a world-class fighter, a world-class operator, you know. To beat someone like a Pacquiao, you either have to land that one-hitter quitter, or you have to be so good. Like, you have to be seriously good to beat him, man. Like, even Jeff Horn, he didn't really win that fight. He didn't beat Pacquiao. Let's be honest. Even you know, Teddy Atlas even went up to Jeff Horn after the end. You didn't win that fight. It was a massive robbery. You know, people don't say that. So, just how can you beat Manny Pacquiao? Land the one-hitter quitter. He's just so good. The guy is so good. Like, he's seriously that good. Like, Mayweather and Pacquiao are just so good, man. Honestly, like, they're just so good. They're one of the two best fighters I've ever seen. Honestly, they're that good.
Fair enough. There you have it, guys. There's one video, and we're gonna record another one. Salman gives his prediction. He believes Manny Pacquiao is going to beat Errol Spence. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Take care.